second tier of 144. Each group leader will have 12 under his jurisdiction. These 12 may know each other, may or may not, but they will certainly not know the other 12. You have to do that. But at the flick of a switch, we will have a counter-attack as we get stronger, you see, and we will beat the enemy at his own game. Now, number 3. Formation of Nova Europa, this is important, which is the precursor of Imperium Europa. Formation of Nova Europa, New Europe, Haider's idea, Haider's coinage, not mine, tribute to him, in Brussels. This is very, very important. Now, I meet a lot of, I'm not telling anybody what to do or, no disrespect. I meet a lot of people from the BNP, and they're all gloom and doom. We didn't do anything, and we lost hundreds of thousands of sterling. We didn't get a candidate in the House of Commons. Who wants to have a candidate in the House of Commons? What difference does it make if you have 5? If you have 10? They'll freeze you out, those 2 lesbian prostitutes, you see. They'll freeze you out like they did to the Swedish. They'll freeze you out like they did to the MSI. For 50 years, the MSI, the Movimentos, garnered for 50 years a solid 8–9% of the vote in Italy. To no use. Because the gangsters ganged up and froze it. We don't need our votes. Then they accepted them. But first they had to change. They had to change. They became like the rest. Fide, a pale shadow of his former self, with the armour genuflecting in Jerusalem, seeking apology for 20 years of fascism. I mean, how low can you go? But it was accepted. So long as you change and become like the rest. We don't want to do that, do we? No. Of course not. So what's the use of having in Parliament? The BNP scored a tremendous victory by having 2 representatives, whoever they are, in Brussels. It was the body language gives me away. And they scored a magnificent victory, and the attack on the BNP, they're out to demolish that. It's not because of the potential of having candidates in the Commons. It's because of your potential of increasing those 2 candidates in Brussels, because there is where the power lies, and there is where we will snatch power from the enemy of mankind, as Voltaire once defined them. You see? The victory lies in Brussels, so we have to form a group. Now, in Brussels, this group will be formed through step number 4. Dislocation of the regions. I've stressed this many, many times. Dr. Sunik's interview on Voice of America. Regions and peoples, not nation states, artificial nation states, operetta states. Belgium and Italy. It is only 200 years old, l'Italietta. Come on, it's all artificial. So, dislocation of the regions from the artificial. The more the regions, the better. Why? The smaller the regions, the better. Why? Because there will be more character. More character of the regions. More ethnicity, dialects, tradition. Regional laws, freedom to do what you want in the region, not everybody wearing the same suit, which Brussels tailors for everybody, with absolutely no regard for the particularity of the sacred geography and the ethnicity of each region. We don't want that. So we will encourage the regions to come out, the old regions, and not only that, encourage the further subdivision of large regions. I didn't know that whole regions had another 6 regions within them. if one sees the map, there is a map on the internet, you'd be surprised, hundreds of regions. Italians in Romania, Italians in Bulgaria, Circassians in New York. Why should Circassians retaining their identity be living in America, in Minnesota or something? Why should they be there? We will encourage them to go back to their coastline from where they were evicted by the Tsar years ago, you see. Let each region seek itself its sacred geography and live peacefully according to its own customs. And these regions, in turn, will vote for us. Nova Europa, I have friends in Brussels at the very center who tells me, Norman, if you are elected here, we will help you to garner a group which encapsulates the AENM, the Alliance of European National Movements, of which the BNP is part, and Forza Nuova, but it's a small group, with the other group, Geert Wilders and Lega Lombarda, and even, please, the UKIP, Nigel Farage, and the Libertarians, and the independents. There are so many independents. Farmers here, farmers there, crazy intellectuals. We'll get them all together in a very short time, you see, with this idea of Nova Europa. And we'll have a group numbering about 100. Now, when you have a group numbering 100, nothing like the rest, because there are 700 something. But when you have a, you can barter. If this bunch of prostitutes here want to enact a law, you say, yes, we'll do that, so long as we tighten immigration a bit more, and we'll vote for you. Then you turn on the other one. What did you say? Oh, crucifixes in the classrooms, you say? Yes, we'll do that. And we'll play them off against each other. In the meantime, we get stronger, you see. This is the idea, and we will snatch power over there, where it will become impossible for either group to pass anything without our consent. Yes. This is it. So there it is. Why the regions? Because in a region, the smaller it is, will elect to its regional government, regional whatever, people from the regions, families, dating back hundreds of years within the, you see, the enemy, Margaret Thatcher, had 6 of them in her cabinet, 6 of them, you all know who they were. But they go unnoticed. Why? Because Britain, like the rest of Europe, is a multiracial mess. And the enemy is very hidden, comfortable in a multiracial mess. You see? But in the regions, so tight and so full of character, Jack Straw, or the other two, the Tusen Grusen, the Milibans, they would stick out like a Bishop Tutu in a synagogue. You see what I mean? They won't be able to infiltrate us. This is it. So we have to have the regions instead of this multiracial mess of the nation states. A growing jigsaw puzzle, a growing influence, till we reach a point where we'll tilt the political balance, and then we will start the cleansing of Europe through a special EID card given to all Europeans, the Anglo-Saxons, the Teutons, the Slavs and the Latins, only to those. And without the EID, you don't get a job, you don't board a train, you don't board a bus, you don't go to a supermarket, you can't buy, nor sell, nor nothing. And they'll have to go, you see. We'll help them along, don't worry. We're not vindictive, but we can't have you in our lands. You've got vast continents, vast economies, so you go back where you came from. And we will start an economic revolution. I've spoken about our concept of economics with Dr. Sunik on Voice of Britain, where our vision will not be wage increases, inflation, wage increases, and the pumping of trillions of worthless dollars. No. Our will be reduction of working hours.